Selfridge, Jr., graduated from the U.S. Military Academy at West Point in the same year the Wright brothers first took flight at Kitty Hawk, 1903. After joining an experimental flying group organized by famed telephone inventor Alexander Graham Bell, Selfridge was assigned by the Army to test a Wright brothers flyer at Fort Myer, Virginia. The first military officer ever to fly an aircraft and to design one as well. Selfridge was flying as a passenger with Orville Wright on September 17, 1908, when the plane crashed, leaving Selfridge as the world's first fatality of an airplane crash. 9 years later, a new military airfield in Michigan would be named in his honor.
Flying Museum operated by the Hampton Flying Club members. All the founders were pilots, mostly private pilots, and several airline pilots in the group. And they didn't know exactly why these gentlemen dedicated themselves to this. They are flying the aircraft here today. The aircraft that we're seeing in the air today are replicas of the airplane. Like the aircraft you can see here, probably the most recognizable. That is a Fokker VR-1 triplane. The airplane made famous by the. It has been said that the museum created an attempt to replicate the aircraft is shown in famous photographs. And Miller points out that history here. The other one we've got is the Selfridge 1.5 tonner. The aircraft is so much of a rarity among the World War I reps. The was constructed with a steel fuselage and extremely conforms to the original specifications of the airplane. The gunner is in the rear of the aircraft, working to follow a more vertical dimensional forward facing seat. About 30 mil worked into the second seat of the aircraft. And this one is particularly painted to represent the colors of Brother.
If I'm not mistaken, our old pal Snoopy.
Yes, you guessed that right. He might even be aboard here. So, coming right in AIRSHOW Center right now, the British colored airplane is a N-2-8 replica. Powered by a Continental R670 radial engine. And prior to the use of upfitted structure, the museum completed this aircraft and painted in the colors of the 94.
World War I was over, came here to Selfridge, operated at Selfridge roughly 1918 until 1922. The decision was made in 1922 to close Selfridge Field, but there was a large hue and cry from the community. One of several times that the community rallied around this local military installation. These aircraft will be on display again in the pit area. They're roped off because these aircraft are very delicate. The entire body is made of wood.
And of course these airplanes are flying with modern engines, not the Marone engines that were used by most of the aircraft during the Second World War, at least the Allied aircraft. Mark 4 engines that are flying. Although the Spitfire became much more famous, it was Hermann Göring promised Adolf Hitler that he could calm Britain into submission. Well, the Brits didn't take it, and then Winston Churchill. Without problem, comes a hurricane from the left.
And here comes our P-40 Warhawk. Which was already engaged against the Empire of Japan. And then once the United States entered World War II, most of those pilots resigned from China and came back to the U.S. Military without any interruption. So it was a very secretive mission at the time, and now we know that group as the prime.
Side note, our P-40 as it goes by is being flown by U.S. officers. The conjunction of that was that they would have been able to slip away the American invasion of Monica House 15 months later. All right, now we got another airplane coming along. All the classic World War II airplanes. Actually, back to the World War II groups, and most notable, the assembly for the empennage of the aircraft, which a traditional T arrangement was into a single vertical fin. This P-39 also featured powered tricycle landing gear, a system was a relatively new concept and art of the aircraft design at the time. This is the U.S. Army Air Force. The aircraft was exported this aircraft is open the Panzers, the German Panzers, like opening a can of sardines. And the Russians used this aircraft very effectively in their own. They turned east, and probably one of the turning points in the war, which gets very little acknowledgement in our history books, was the day that Stalin did not evacuate Moscow. He stayed in Moscow while it was turned aside out of Germany. It's probably what the Russians tried to turn that German fatal era in America. This is the heavy bomber. The advancements, the late-10s that are parked across the ramp out there can carry more bombs than the 4-inch. And now here comes our P-51 coming across.
And just listen, you'll hear through that
Matt Miller, their nephew, is our pilot for the F-35 who's joined us here today. The brothers have accumulated thousands of hours as a couple. The British, the RAF, needed fighters. They didn't have enough airplanes. The fourth of the American entry into the war is called P-6. Airfield that literally pushed across
Selfridge Field, Selfridge Army Airfield at the time, and during the war. And that really led to the decision shortly after the war. That's where all the aircraft are from. And the Tuskegee folks would love the observation variant of the P-51. So had a camera really instead of a gun. So General Eisenhower can know what the layout was of the Army, of the enemy forces, as we see our
T-6 continues to bring
brothers who are here. And also what makes Team Selfridge work is the folks out in the community who have been a part of Team Selfridge for 100 years now. The community is a full part helping take care of our families. Michigan Youth Challenge Academy is an important part of how the National Guard contributes to the community. As we see our B-17 come by on another beauty shot here, you know, the National Guard is part of the community. That's one of the cornerstones of what the National Guard is all about, is the fact that you know, we're from here, but continue to serve in the modern military with that same spirit of protecting and serving our communities.
But it definitely serves us very well as the B-25 comes back across one more time.
It's just a fascinating sight to be able to be that close to our World War II history. mention how important it is for our veterans to continue to be part of the Selfridge family. When I was in high school, my really encouraged me to help the United States Air Force. And I'll tell you what,
Talked about we're trying to get the F-35 to be stationed here. With the photo passes coming by here right now.
Oh, now that's a beautiful pass by our P-39. These veteran warbirds come by, and I know we're looking forward to seeing that F-35, but I gotta be honest with you, I can watch these P-51s fly overhead all day. You want to hear those stories, so go ahead and post them on social media, hashtag Selfridge100, hashtag live TV.
Came back to Selfridge in 35 and completed my sixth. My father commanded the 1st Pursuit Group in his first tour. In his second tour, he commanded both the group and...
Gentlemen, from your right, we are proud to present the Trojan horse salute to the armed forces of the United States of America. Our performance today is choreographed in patriotic music, and will recognize all 5 branches. Hey, I know I'm proud to be an American. How about you guys? Four-point hesitation more. We're going to ask you now to take a quick look at the Trojan Horseman 2017 Bombers. As they fly overhead and recover behind me, this is going to take a few seconds to say thank you to the people who make it possible for us to be here today. First and foremost, our families. Thank you for all the support.
Flew at 561. Outbreaks of boundary layer lead ducts that moved to the P-33 was the addition of the Fletcher type 3-tech of almost 6,000, including 649. Lieutenant Russell Brown, piloting this shooting star with the 16th Fighter Squadron, outmaneuvered 2 attacking the Big 15.
War era, here were platforms serving in
driven aircraft ever developed, fighting aircraft, and here we've got the P-33 at AIRSHOW Center as our pilot. He served 27 years for the FAA, keeping the skies safe as an air traffic controller at the Open Air Traffic Control Facility. From 1988 to 2015, his passion for the cockpit has never left him.
easiest thing. If you see a person wearing a military uniform of any kind, please approach that person and let them know about the military or about the medical emergency that you may have. We have a number of medical support. Our 127th Wing Fire Department is coordinating all that, doing a great job. Our 127th Security Forces are out here.
Kelly Johnson built the airplane there at the Skunk Works. By the way, it's called the Skunk Works because it's right next to the waterhouse. And good stuff with it. Mr. Kelly Johnson's predecessor, or the Battler Day, excuse me. On the rim. And if you're interested in opportunities in the United States Army, you've got a bunch of toys out there on the flight line you can go up, get up close and personal with, and talk with the recruiters who will be more than happy to get you into the military.
By the Michigan National Guard that helps young people find a new direction and focus in their lives. And of course the Boy Scouts are here working and helping out in a lot of different capacities. Also a lot of our veterans also in the audience. She'll be turning 91. She's got two grandsons. One guy with a Gatling gun destroying enemy tanks. So we were able to have a scenario with a 35 kicked in the door and take out the guy. Obviously deployed multiple times to Iraq and recently just completed the combat Archer combat hammer exercise, in which the F-35 fired 11 air-to-air missiles this past week. One of the focuses of the Michigan Air National Guard, Selfridge is on the short list for potential basing of F-35s. And one of the things that Selfridge brings to the table when we look at potential future missions here, we've been flying fighter aircraft here for 100 years. We have the personnel that know how to maintain and operate fighter aircraft. We've deployed with fighters numerous times, too numerous to mention, including just last year to Operation Inherent Resolve. But one of the things that Selfridge brings to the table is the full package of the mission
Airplane in the inventory, but we've got some competition. It'll be back in the sequence here in just a little bit as we're continuing to work our way up to the 322 start time for the United States Air Force Guard. You get expert training, you get leadership skills that are so lacking in the industry.
While you're doing it, real quick while our next set of aircraft are taking off, I just want to take a second to thank all the people who are making both this live stream possible, showing it out on the jumbotrons. A lot of people from Live AIRSHOW TV. You talk about teamwork. None of this happens by itself. It's just like that pilot in the cockpit.
We got the 4 A-10s, and then we're going to launch the KC-135.
Q4 A-10s taking off. Of course, these aircraft always work primarily in a group of 4. Hey, well, we've got just a second here. I want to talk with one of our Michigan Air National recruiters who's with us here today, Sergeant O'Connor. And Sergeant, I know you guys are talking to a lot of young people today. Just tell us a little bit about the questions that are being asked. A lot of career fields that have a very significant cash bonus. I mean, cash is king, right? So tell us about some of the career fields that offer that kind of bonus.
So we have 3 really that stand out to me when it comes to my mind, and that's we have avionics shop here, munitions shop here, and propulsion shop. So with those 3 shops, you're either working with missiles, you're working with the plane, or you're working with different systems, including the avionics systems, to help the pilots, control their crews a little bit better.
So a lot of hands-on technical skills, great for young men, young women who have kind of... Soviet era, big 17. There's a lot of activity here at Selfridge.
By Dr. Joe Messina from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Joe's a dermatologist, so on his behalf, I'd like to remind everybody to use it.
Again, all by Michigan Citizen Airmen, right here from Selfridge, our National Guard base. All right, here we go.
Get some pictures right now. Historic airplane. Maximum G turn. The capability to maintain a gentle flat turn made the aircraft extremely dangerous. It was shaped like a 50 caliber bullet, little stuff wings are added on it, and a whole bunch of power. Like the big 17.
Just a shout out to all of our airborne, Selfridge Air National Guard Base. This facility was known as the home of the generals back in the World War II era. Served here in command in the 1920s. Later, Curtis LeMay.
All right, we're coming in right now with our F-100 coming back across. But well worth it. I got into a conversation with an individual who never served in the military about the F-22 and about the fact that it was so expensive.
Here comes our F-100 on approach, getting ready to touch down. So get your cameras ready to catch this strike shoot. Back in the 1970s, when
F-106.
Which was an air-to-air intercept aircraft. The unit transitioned to flying C-130s back in the 1980s. Flew those for about 10-15 years. And then in the transitioned to flying the KC-135, which is out of the back of that large aircraft, that's the KC-135. Out of the back of that is the boom, and that is the
airborne over the rescue scenario.
The KC-135 can be used primarily for air-to-air refueling, but the other capability it brings is it can be outfitted to carry injured personnel. The back of it can be turned into essentially an intensive care unit. So if a soldier, a Marine, whoever it might be, is injured overseas, able to be brought back safely to America.
And 25 countries tuned in to the show. I haven't got into the figure today. We'll get it from the director here in just a little bit, but thousands, tens of thousands of people watching the Selfridge Centennial Air Show. Dan?
How do I work on one of these aircraft? What does it take? Well, I'll tell you what, you go over and talk to some of our Michigan Air National Guard recruiters, and they're earning that college credit and getting on with your life.
Well, you know, Dan, when I was in the military, I had two jobs. One was to break things and kill people.
And that is the aircraft that you want over you. And you see, if you're able to see the large Jumbotron screens here, that is some of the damage that an A-10 has done to a armored personnel carrier. That's up at our combat range in Center, Detroit. Also operating the Joint Reserve Intelligence Center, Detroit. That's a joint facility, obviously, but led by the Navy. So a lot of great citizen sailors here as part of Team Selfridge. And of course, two Marine Corps units here as part of Team Selfridge. The 1st and the 24th.